Okay, I'm excited to show my latest bowl. Just finished it this morning. I'm calling it Round We Go because of all the circles and the arcs that are in it. So a lot of round in this bowl. Part one will just focus on the feature ring. Part two will focus on the rest. I am not going into all the aspects of cutting segments and putting the rings together and then turning the bowl. This video is really just going to be on the techniques for cutting these circles and setting them into the ring. So in the part one with the feature ring, I want to point out there's two different color combinations in the feature ring, but there's also two different styles. I'm not going to tell you about them here. I'll turn it around and you see if you can see them. In the video, I will talk about the method for making both of them. I'm calling one the complex method and the other one simpler method. And you'll see for obvious reasons when I get to the showing. Okay, let's get to making some circles. Okay, this is the key to doing the circles in circles, is having a stop block on a drill press that you can lock down for both cutting the 3/4, I'm using 3/4 inch circles as my small one, and then later the 1 inch plugs. So I am going to install this stop block. You don't have to do this with I have an XY clamp on my drill press. You could do this with a 90-degree boards and clamp it to your table, your drill press table. But the key is having it locked down. Okay, this hole needs to be in far enough that when I use my 1 inch plug cutter, it doesn't go over the edge. Okay, my pattern for making this is as such. I played around with different diameters, but I end up with a 1 3/8 inch circle in the middle. I drew the circles in, but really the only thing that matters is intersecting lines with a 60-degree angle on each one of them. Okay, I'm going to start the complex method, which gets 6 circles that are identical, or 6 partial circles. So it starts off by drilling the first 2 holes. Okay, so the next step is popping one of these plugs in that I've already made. But I'm not going to glue it. I am going to tape it in the hole. Okay, then we'll go back and drill the next hole. And this piece needs to be pulled out and set aside. But before you do, mark the top, because at the end you're going to want to put that in, and you're going to want to know what's the top and what's the bottom. The top is the one where the holes are, because if you got it upside down, it might not fit so well. Okay, we'll put that aside, and we're going to glue the next piece in, trying not to get too much glue where that one was. Okay, I'm going to let that dry a half hour before coming back, but I'm going to see if there's some, obviously there's some glue on the edge of that because I ran it all the way around. I'm just going to try to use a wet cloth here and see if I can get most or all of the glue away from. Yep. Okay, so on the complex method, we continue drilling. I'm going to drill this hole, then glue that in and move around, and I'll skip the gluing part, and I'll pick it up when the process changes towards the end. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the bench, glue this one in, let the glue cure, drill the next one and the next one, and like I said, I'll pick it up when the process changes. Okay, so I will let that glue dry, and then the drill press is set to drill this hole and take the mouth out of that one. And then we have just one left. That makes it complicated. We will go ahead and re-glue this one in after we drill that, but I'll show that later. Okay, so the glue should be dry and I should be able to drill this hole. And all I'm doing is trimming this ring. Okay, so this one was in this hole, so it should fit. We're going to try to put it back in. Okay, I have a piece of plywood that is about the same thickness as wood I'm working with. Okay, so we're going to put this plug in this piece of plywood, but not glued. Then I am going to lay this other one on top of it and try to line it up with the outer part, the outer diameter of the circle. And using a sharp pencil, just going to mark the arc in the lighter wood where I can see it. You see that? That's what I'm going to try to get set up on the drill press to cut. Okay, so I have this in the drill press. The only dimension I should have to adjust is this way. The reason I said let's see if it fits is it doesn't always work on the first try. It's taken me as many as 3, but most of them have been on one try. to be able to just tap it in. If I have to force it, it could split the wood, which I've done. Nope. I'm going to have to cut another one a little smaller. But that's the process. I'm not going to show you every iteration. Well, I redid the cutting and made one just a little bit smaller, and it fit in snugly, so it's a good fit. So that is how the complex method works. In the simplified version, we put one of these plugs in, did the cut, put the next one in, did the cut, and with each one we glued them in. So all the way around, they're all glued in. There's one left to drill, and this one's going to be a complete circle, which is why the simplified or the simpler method is easier. So I'm going to drill that last hole and then we'll glue it in. Okay, this is the final step in the simpler method. But let's do a quick compare. This is the complex method where all circles have a notch out of them. And this is the simpler method where this one's a full circle. They both look good, and you can decide for yourself whether this is worth the extra effort. I do like the look of that, but I'd like the looks of this too. So choose for yourself. And I am going to double side tape this piece to it and then cut it on the bandsaw to get the arc and have a piece that has to fit into it. Sometimes a little bit of light sanding helps the fit. So that was part one. I hope you found it useful.